Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, we're going to be celebrating the fact that QuickBooks has brought out a brand new SKU. They brought out QuickBooks Sole Trader, which is designed to replace QuickBooks Self-Employed. And our job is to make sure that, well, do they both compare to one another? If you're going to be replacing one product with another, are they both the same? And that's what today's video is today. And what we're going to look at today is purely the mobile app, because out of all the clients that we have, there is a percentage of them that are sole traders, a percentage of them this sole trader app is perfect for them. But out of all the clients that we have, majority of them will only ever use the mobile app that comes with it. They won't use anything else. They're not interested in anything else that comes with it. So we need to make sure that app is as good as it possibly can be. And that's what we're going to look at today. We're going to compare sole trader versus QuickBooks Self-Employed, and we're going to see which one is going to be the best going forward. So I think this is going to be a really important video, one not to be missed. Roll the intro. Hello, my name is Aaron Patrick. I am a chartered accountant, a certified UK trainer with a fancy new logo, that QuickBooks chap on the internet, head of accounts here at Bookkeeping, the digital disruptor of 2024, and also your friendly podcast who goes live each and every Monday morning for Ask the Accountant. Now, in today's video, we're talking all about the world of the app ecosystem for QuickBooks Sole Trader and QuickBooks Self-Employed. Let's not waste no more time. Let's go straight into it. Let's figure out which one we prefer. Okay, so before we go any further, the first thing to do is have a look at how we access both different ones. So on this one, we go into, for the sole trader, we go into the standard QuickBooks app. So click on the app. Most time we need to do some sort of Face ID. But for QuickBooks Self-Employed, we had a completely separate app. QuickBooks Self-Employed was its own separate one. Now, in front of us, we have both individual apps. On the left-hand side, as I'm looking, I have the QuickBooks Sole Trader app. And on the right-hand side, as I'm looking, I have the QuickBooks Sole Trader. Now, I purposely did this both on the iOS ecosystem, so both on iPhones. We could look at it, QuickBooks iPhone versus Android, there are subtle differences, but I thought if we keep it on the same ecosystem, that's going to make it the fairer test. So let's have a look at these in totality. Now, first and foremost, app-wise, the left-hand side, for me, feels a lot more familiar because this is very, very similar to the QuickBooks Online ecosystem and experience. And actually, that's a really good thing. That's something we want to continue, right? On the right-hand side, our Self-Employed app, for most of you, that's all you've used, you'll probably recognize it quite well. And what they have done, in fairness to them, is they've tried to take some of the language from each one. So straight away, as you can see here, we both have along the bottom the dashboard, the transactions, and on the left-hand side, on the sole trader version, the menu. On the right-hand side, you get mileage, invoices, and taxes. Now, you definitely do have the option of doing mileage, invoice, and taxes on the left-hand side. That's not going to be a problem. They're still going to be there for us. So we're still going to have that option. But on the left-hand side, on the new sole trader version, those elements are going to be within under the menu button. And actually, I think I prefer that because that gives us a lot more customized options going down here. We're always limited here, weren't we, on the 5 items that we could have at the bottom on that little bottom area. Now, we have a menu button that opens up, well, what have we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different options. And they can just add as many of those as you go along. Some things that feel very, very similar while we're here. Mileage and mileage, you're going to see very, 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 very similar. Both at the moment asking me to create rules, but as you can see, page-wise, it looks pretty much identical, right? Left-hand side is sole trader, right-hand side is self-employed, but pretty much exactly the same. You know, they don't go through there. You add vehicle differences. You've got your unreviewed versus you reviewed. Very, very similar kind of aesthetic here, and both same functionality as well. You find whatever transaction you want. You can decide left if it's personal, and then right if it's business. And then when it goes to business, you decide what you want to do. Few different options there, I suppose, but pretty much exactly the same, but they go through from there. Now, so that's putting those ones in. When it comes to invoices, though, this is where we definitely do have a bit of differences. On the left-hand side, we still got our nice plus button, but you'll see that when I plus and plus, you'll see that unlike the browser version, which definitely has some differences from one to the other, on here, aesthetically, they're exactly the same. So you're not going to see any difference. You should have more functionality because the sole trader solution definitely gave you more functionality to go with, but you'll actually be probably seeing here that they're very, very, very similar. So what else have we got here then? So left-hand side, right-hand side sort of idea. So left-hand side, you can see that I can go and create and add a customer. You'll see very, very similar kind of ones here. Left-hand side is probably going to have a nicer way of doing it. It's kind of have your apples where you have your alphabet versus the kind of recent. But in both scenarios, if I was to add a customer, they come through. Products and services wise, though, as you can see, exactly the same. But you should see that you have a bit more functionality. So on the left-hand side, with the sole trader, it's adding functionality for you, right? So you get to choose if it's a product or service at the very beginning. You get to give the name that's exactly the same. But then there's quantity, hour, and flat weight. And you also get a description as well. So you get that tiny little bit more product, service, description that you didn't have on the other one, but everything else is pretty much exactly the same. And then we have the opportunity to add subtotals on the sole trader as opposed to the self-employed. So that's definitely different. And then as we go through, we've got the opportunity to add a little bit more information. You get the subtotal and additional totals options there, so there's definitely opportunities there. And we know going forward that we should be getting opportunities to make those pay now features appear directly in sole trader, which I think is going to be really, really important. As we go along here, though, you can see we've got attachments that we can add. We can add attachments over on the right-hand side, so that's good to see. Invoices, and you can even do a memo on statement as well. So you've got those functionality. Save, draft, and save. Both going to do exactly the same. We both have the email functionality to go through. But I'll just go into any invoice that's there. Let's see what they look like. Again, aesthetically a little bit different. You see you've got your preview option top right hand corner and preview option top right there. Both of these are going to be making, invoices, but you do get a lot more functionality on that left hand side. So the left hand side is definitely what it's there for, the bill. What I do like on the right hand side there is you could annotate on here. Don't seem to get that over this side. Is that a big deal? Don't know. But that was one thing that we could do. We can't do now. I love this option here. We've been able to see the invoice status. Here you kind of see the sent, viewed, paid options at the top, but now we've got that featured there. We can edit and we can see everything else there, and we can send reminder as part of the left-hand side. Left-hand side also had that auto reminder functionality, which is definitely something we love to see. All right, so they're invoices. Fair enough. That looks good to me. Let's look at your transactions page. So ignore the fact there's an authentication issue on the right hand side. That's not a problem. But let's see what we get on either side, because this way you can do the bulk of your work, right? Transactions is where you've added the bank account and that information is going to go through. Both pages now are showing me my transaction page. I think this is where the biggest amount of differences come in. So on the right hand side, we have unreviewed versus reviewed. On the left hand side, we don't have that. Now, this is this new world, this new way in which they want us to kind of go see how this is going to work. And the idea is AI is going to do a lot of the heavy lifting for us. Now, actually, when this is ready on the left-hand side, the sole trader version, when that's ready, this is going to be amazing. For now, though, I'm not 100% sure I'm convinced this is the best way of doing it, just because I'm finding from a workflow point of view, this could be quite tricky to know where we are. But we've had a whole video on that one. But what can we see then? So if I could take any transaction, let's go for InstaVault there. You'll notice on the left-hand side, it opens up. And if I open up my Amazon one here, actually, let's do a proper transaction, do way. You'll see we get loads more options on that left-hand side. Right-hand side, we had business, personal, and split in the self-employed functionality with the option to attach a receipt and put a note there. If I went to business, I could then choose what category it was going to be like this. On the left-hand side, straight away, market personal is a toggle switch, but if I want to put a category through here, I get a much better category list, I think. Top categories. So I suppose my top versus suggested were always there. And then kind of go through finding the ones. We will be able to have the opportunity as accountants to start adding new categories for our clients later down the line. So that'll be definitely interesting to do. Make sure you drop a like and a subscribe for the channel to see how that's going to work, because I think that's going to be really important. Other than that, though, very, very similar. You both have the opportunity to mark as personal, This one's a little toggle on there. So functionality-wise, you pretty much seem to have the same amount. And then the option to add a receipt as well if you want to. Select from files and go from there. So they're the same. The key difference, though, on the way the transactions work is how you add a transaction outside the bank. On the left-hand side, on the sole trader version, you do have an option, don't you? Do I use these little dots? Oh, add income manually, add expense manually. So I wanted to add an expense, I can go and add that expense manually, and on the plus button, I can add expense manually, put it through from there. Notice though, you get the receipt, add a snap receipt function here. On this one, I don't think it's giving you the option here, but if I just went out of here, interesting. So, the snap receipt button's just there. So you can get both of them. And they're both going to give you similar options, but they're not the same. And this is where, for me, the sole trader version needs to improve its game a little bit. So if I take it on the sole trader first, just take that photo there, and then I take the photo on self-employed just there, you'll see then left-hand side, you actually get the opportunity to have multiple add-ins at the same time. So you can add up to 5 documents, only want the one. When you get to this area, it looks very, very similar. I like the little preview on the left-hand side. You seem to get more options at the top there. So I could delete this completely. I can reframe in both. As you can see, you press that button, press that button. Actually does a really good job of framing it for you. As you can see, both of those pretty poor photos, if I'm honest, but the algorithm was really good at like bringing those in. Left hand side again, I love that little preview that you've got. You get an option up here where you can see if you've got multiple ones. So again, you can have 5 at the same time that you take photos of. You can then reorder them how they're going to be. You can rotate on both sides by using the little rotate button. And both sides you get the photo to go. But if you're happy with them, you say use this photo. Both gets uploaded, but this is where the key difference definitely comes in. See, where the way the receipt is added on the sole trader version means that I now can wait for it to be pending, so it's just gathering that receipt detail. Left hand side receipt is a lot quicker look because that's already done. The fact it's in dollars is disappointing, but I think that's just a beta version for now. But once I click into it, I don't actually have an option to do anything with it other than link a transaction that might already be there. Now, in my case, I'd already added that transaction, so I could attach it and do that. If you hadn't already added it manually, you'd have to come out of the screen, add it, and put it in, which is definitely not the way we were kind of hoping this was going to work. Where's that gone then? So it might be at my bottom of here. Ah, there it is. So you can see here, it's extracted the information, 184, but it's given me the option to create it as a brand new transaction. And I really think that's important. The fact that on my left-hand side here, I can't create it as a new transaction from here, I'm a little bit disappointed in that. My only option is to link, so I've got to create the transaction, press confirm. Is this the correct transaction? It just seems a little bit messy. Whereas here, I can say, yeah, that was a business. Let's view the receipt. I can say it was meals and entertainment. That's fine by me. And I can save it. On the right-hand side, the self-employed, easy to add a transaction from your photo snap receipt functionality. On the left-hand side, it's not great, is it? You're linking a transaction, but realistically, that means I had to go into here, press this one, add an expense manually, actually write this out, or like I've literally got to go and find my date, find my thing, change my date up here. That's what the receipt capture is supposed to do for you. So yeah. I don't like that functionality at all. In my opinion, they need to fix that before it comes out beta. So what we've got on our dashboard though, dashboard wise, left hand side, we've got these nice little quick action functionality. I'm loving that. I think that's really, really good. They can add to that, take stuff away. A nice little cash balance. And they can even do a cash flow and forecasting for you, which I absolutely love. Some tips there on send an invoice and all caught up. And then it gives you a bit of information, so a bit of profit and loss, bit of expense, bit of mileage, potential deductions, all that sort of groovy stuff. On the right hand side though, we have the option to see your profit and loss, so very similar, some mileage, potential deductions, some invoices, and take home pay, stuff like that. So very, very similar. I like the left hand side better, I'll be honest with you. Never really gel with the right hand side, but that could just be a personal preference. That is more of I'm used to QuickBooks Online, so I can see it from there. Let's go and look at the taxes area. So on the left-hand side, I don't have access to my taxes, which is a big omission. I wasn't aware that that wasn't in the mobile app. I think that's huge, right? On the right-hand side, sole trader, self-employed, should I say, you can see a little breakdown of your different tax years at the top. You can see what your potential things are going to be, and it gives you a nice little breakdown of what the potential tax position's going to be at this point. Really, really, really important. Fact it's not on that left-hand side is actually really disappointing. There's another thing that they need to add for this beta to get that feature parity, because if you're going to force people to move from one to the other, the least you need to just show that there. So the fact that we can't have the mileage is not great. Right hand side did have the QuickBooks Assist functionality, but I believe this has actually been taken away from us. So if I say, hey, I think I'm going to get a message saying it's not available anymore. Oh no, it's there. So what's my profit? And then it tells me my profit there. So I lost £49 in that period. Okay, so we don't have that on the left-hand side. I imagine that's something that probably will come back at a later date. Let's see what reports we get on the app, though. So on the app here, I had 0 reports, didn't I? There was 0 options for report. There's no kind of menu option for me to see anything else. So what I see here was all of the options I had. I probably could go into this figure here, maybe see some trends. I like this trends option, that was nice. But here I do get to actually go in and see a proper profit and loss report, see how my business is doing, and actually have that nice breakdown. So big kudos to the sole trader option there. The fact that you can have those options there, we're absolutely loving. And then kind of, I like the bank options here though. I don't think I get to see that here. See how it's calculated. No, we can't see that. One big option you have on the left-hand side is your estimates and customer area. So here I just have a list of invoice. That's all I've got. Here, though, I can go into individual customers. So here's my test customer. I can even call, text, email if I put that information in using my phone. That's really nice. And I actually think that's going to be really, really impactful because you can kind of see it from there. Interesting, though, on the mobile app, I can't see the transactions related to that customer, which I think is a bit of an omission. I'd love to see the fact that the transactions were sat there. I think that's really important on the mobile side. But if I went to invoices, I can see the customers. I suppose, can I filter? No, can't filter by customers. So I can't bring my customers up here. It's just a list and I have to go through. I suppose I could search for test. And I probably, only come up my test customers there. Potentially, but that's not ideal. Ideally, you want in your customers area to see that there. What else we got here? Estimates is brand new and only available in Sole Trader, so that's a big plus to bring it there. Save time while sealing the deal, so you can send an estimate directly from here. The customer can then agree it and everything else. Receipt snap was there, so my apologies, it was there, and that does give you a chance to bring the receipts in, and you can press plus and you can see how we've attached them. But when they aren't attached, I mean, I love the fact it tells me it's a duplicate, but when they aren't attached, there's not much I can do really with it again. So I feel like that's a big update that's needed. So I feel like majority of it's brought in. There are certain bits that we definitely need Sole Trader to have before it goes live. Remember, this is still only in beta, so the fact that some things aren't working isn't the end of the world. I'm not honestly all that fussed about some of the stuff not being there. I feel like that's just stuff that will come back later. So I'm happy at the moment that that is there. That will come at some point. But the big one has to be the receipt capture has to be on par. I think that's an absolute must. We need receipt capture to be, if not as good as this, we should really be better, right? This was released 5 years ago now, something like that, and was the first QuickBooks product to have receipt capture. Never really been updated, but we don't need it to be updated, right? But at some point, this needs to at least match this, and like I said, should be better than this going forward. So I'm happy with those ones. We need to see the taxable element on here. That needs to be coming in here. It was on here. It was a really good element, but it needs to come on here and go through from there. Apart from that, though, I'm liking it. I think it's cleaner. I think there's more functionality. I think if they're going to add functionality like the customers element to it, we need to do more in the customers area. We need to just see our transactions out. I think that will just give us what we need there. And the fact that it's given us a profit and loss account, great. But let's see all the reports that we can have on our mobile app. Like for a lot of our clients, that's all they're ever going to need. Profit and loss is probably all they'll ever need. But, maybe giving them the opportunity to have a monthly one, something like that, I think might be really powerful for them. But at the end of the day, I'm probably asking for too much on a mobile app. The fact that we got the report in there is brilliant. I'm loving that. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Do you think we are at an opportunity for you to jump on this if it came out to be so far? What are the things you need to be able to make sure that this comes through? We're still waiting to see what the accountant side looks like. I'm really excited to kind of see that and see how that goes. I think that's going to be really important to us going forward to kind of make that work. So I'm really excited to kind of have a play around with the accountant side, see what we can do to help. Because I feel like what Sole Trader is giving us, the concept of Sole Trader is brilliant and definitely something I'm excited to see, excited to kind of come around with and everything else. But I need to be able to play with it. I need to have confidence it's going to work. I'm still skeptical on how the transactions being added and everything else is going to affect reconciliations and things like that. Skeptical on how easy it's going to be for me to add chart of accounts to everything. There's still some unknowns there. So I'd like those unknowns to be sorted. But other than that, I think we're on to an absolute winner. But let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to use the like and subscribe button. We still have lots more to look at in terms of QuickBooks Sole Trader. This one was a look at their mobile app and comparing the two. We've already looked at the browsers, so if you head over to the channel, look through the videos. I've done a whole section on QuickBooks Sole Trader. We have already looked at what we have already done a comparison of what the browser version of Sole Trader versus the browser version of Self-Employed looks like. Very, very similar, but some real subtle differences there. And again, really interesting to see how they go. Any updates that come to Sole Trader, I'll make sure that we do some videos on that. So again, like, subscribe, all that sort of stuff. Put the comments below what you want to know about the Sole Trader. I think this is going to be a huge move for a lot of people, right? A lot of people are very comfortable on Self-Employed. It's done wonders for them so far. We just need to make sure that they're going to be supported as businesses going forward with the right one. There's lots to love about Sole Trader, but there's also bits that we need to improve to give that feature parity. My name's been Alan Patrick. As always, this video has been an absolute pleasure to do for you. I will see you in the next video. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you then. Bye for now.
Hello and welcome to this new series.
Hello and welcome to this video.
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 Hello and welcome to this video. Alright, let's get it set. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yes, I'm aware we go live every Monday.
The next generation is about everyone else that missed it.
Yeah. So current. All right, you've told us what you love about the industry, but what would you change about the industry?
Where do I start?
During that period of time, where did everyone turn to? Their accountant, right? Their advisor, their bookkeeper, and you all did phenomenal work for small business.